welcome to our latest Force of Will spoilers for today for Return of the Dragon Emperor. The time has come to say a welcome return to our beloved Beast Queen Pricia, our true Beastmaster, as it says here on this ruler card. Jordan was trying to pull a fast one, everyone's insisting, oh, we don't know that Pricia is going to be a ruler. Say she is actually going to be a ruler, so you couldn't fool anyone there, Jordan, but she is back, and I'm quite happy to see her back because, you know, as much as I kind of like the twist of Valentina taking Pricia's body and whatnot, it just didn't feel right. It didn't sit well with me, and I'm quite happy that Pricia has her body back and she's not totally dead. So I'm pretty pleased. So here we are with Pricia, true Beastmaster. The artwork in this looking absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so glad to see like this little shot of her like contemplating essentially what she's going to do in this new world. So she has a Judgment of 2, which is just fire and wind. Her Energize is obviously fire and wind because that's her typing now. That's her color code. She's got 2 resonance abilities, which is actually kind of neat. When a fire magic stone enters your field, a target resonator you control gains swiftness until the end of turn. And if you resonance with a wind magic stone, target resonator you control gains flying until the end of turn. Which is kind of nice. It kind of harkens back to her fire wind resonator. Which, what's it called again? Is it the it's like explosive pursuit or something like that? I can't remember the exact wording of it. It's like a really fancy title and everything. I can't even remember right now. But I think it's a harken back to that. And thank you, AVG Internet Security, for telling me that I don't have any threats. I hate it when the scans just do that when I'm in the middle of recording, and it's just like, wow, that's so unprofessional of me. But anyway, I quite like this. It looks really neat, and I also like the flavor text at the bottom here. Her soul returned to its body after Valentina had been expelled, and Pricia awoke to the truth of other worlds. I mean, surely she knew about the threat of other worlds anyway because Alice just randomly showed up in Arthuratica, but I suppose Pricia was off doing her own thing, getting revenge against Valentina and whatnot for killing her friends, so I guess she never really interacted with Alice too much, so I guess she didn't really learn a lot about the other worlds and all that stuff that was going on, so it's really interesting to see what she thinks that she's found herself in a strange new world and finding out that Arthuratica is actually gone. Next up, we have this beauty, the reincarnated Maiden of Flame, Pricia, who is like reminding me a lot of like a phoenix rising from the ashes with like her huge wings in the background there and her ponytails and that like turning into flames at the end. She's a 1000. She becomes a wanderer on her J-Ruler side, and she's got this massive big hunk of text that we need to get through. When this card enters your field or whenever it attacks, choose one. So we're choosing one of these. Put a target resonator you control on the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, you'll reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a resonator, put it into the field. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Or, a target magic stone you control is put to the bottom of its owner's magic stone deck. If you do, put the top card of your magic stone deck into your field. So, very, very interesting there for that ability. She also comes to the Gods Art, which I guess is going to be the running thing. I guess she's going to be the only, kind of like Faria had a Gods Art, and now she's got a Gods Art. So I find that very interesting that maybe Pricia is the only one, or anyone associated with her, are the only ones who are going to retain Gods Arts, because I thought they were maybe going to phase them out, but I guess maybe only certain J-Rulers will get them depending on whether it suits. So her Gods Art is second wind. It only costs a fire and a wind to play. You recover this card. J/Resonators you control gain swiftness and flying until end of turn. Play this ability only if a fire magic stone and a wind magic stone were put into your field this turn. So sadly, she doesn't actually come with any keywords herself, because we know previously that the other Kaguya could gain keywords and whatnot depending on how many treasure items she had. This Pricia doesn't come with any. So if you are wanting to give her, say, swiftness and flying and whatnot, it looks like you may have to run some regalia. Otherwise, I guess if you want to give her flying badly, you could run the flying cloud because she's technically wind, so that would count for the cost of that being that it has to be a wind J-Ruler or whatever that you control. But if you wanted to give her swiftness and whatnot, you'd probably have to run Demon Sword and everything. And I really like this artwork. I really hope that at some point or whatever they release the actual artwork, like the full art, without the text and whatnot, because I badly want to draw this Pricia, but it's just kind of hard to see all the details of her outfit with the huge wall of text and whatnot. So hopefully they release that and we see her outfit and that from different angles and everything, because I badly want to draw this Pricia, but I want to kind of wait until I get a couple more reference shots or whatever of her so I can like draw her fairly accurately. So Moving on, we have her special magic stone, which is the Memoria of Reincarnation. And FYI, this stone looks like a turkey to me. I know it's meant to probably represent a phoenix or whatnot, like rising from the ashes, similar to Pricia, but it looks like a turkey. So I'm just going to think of this as Pricia's turkey stone and whatnot. It's similar to the other special magic stones in that if Pricia is not your ruler, you have to pay 300 life to keep the stone untapped, unless you, otherwise it just enters your field rested and whatnot. So treat this card as a fire magic stone and a wind magic stone. It produces the fire and the wind, and when this card leaves your field for a non-field zone, draw a card. So if you're using the ability to shuffle this to the bottom of your deck to get the next stone or whatever, you get to draw a card if that happens. So that's a pretty neat ability. Not quite sure if it would work well with other J rulers, so it would probably mainly only work best with Pricia. But I think it's a decent special stone or whatnot. And next up we have the return of Mariabella, the machine-hearted, who for some reason has came back. The description here says that Faria felt the echoes of a powerful spirit from the fragment of Ataratica she took from Valentina. So I guess it's technically saying that Valentina's special magic stone, the remains of Ataratica, it still holds the spirits or whatever of some individuals that were living on the world or whatever. So I guess they're not all dead. Technically, I guess their spirits are trapped within the magic stone. And I believe, was it not said that Lumia had the abilities to bring people back, or at least bring memories or whatever back from like their stones and everything, and that's how the 6 sages got out of the stones or something along those lines. I can't remember the actual details of that actual wording or not, but I find it interesting that Mariabella is here, and she is a fire and wind resonator. Kind of weird because she was like, I'm pretty sure she was blue last time, or was she void entirely? I feel like she was void, but I might be wrong there. She might have been she might have had some attribute or whatever, but she is a 1000, 4 cost, 2 fire, 1 wind, and 1 void. When she enters your field, search your magic stone deck for a non-special magic stone and put it into your field, then shuffle your magic stone deck. So you're basically getting an extra stone as long as it's not a special magic stone. She comes with 2 resonance abilities. For the fire one, you put a blast counter on this card when a fire magic stone enters, and for wind, you put a breeze counter on this card when a magic stone enters. So you might need to have like some different coloured dice or whatever, so you remember which counters for which and everything like that, so you don't get confused. If you remove a blast counter from this card deals 500 damage to target J-Slash Resonator, so kind of like a freebie Thunder / Lightning Strike. If you remove a breeze counter from this card, cancel target chance spell unless its controller pays 1, so essentially that's Wall of Wind and whatnot. I really like this artwork. I think it's really cute. It's kind of neat how Mariabella has got like a little gun, and she's still got her little robot sidekick here, which I think is really neat, and you can kind of see like the full Mariabella in the background or whatever, like the kind of the looming figure and whatnot. So I wonder if she's got her memories and everything like that, or whether she's just like a blank slate, or maybe she's similar to Gloria / Faria in that she's just a shadow of herself given life by the magic stone or whatever. So I think that's really interesting. I hope we get to find out in the lore whether this is the real Mariabella or just, again, another spirit who isn't real and will have to perish at some point as well. Next up, we've got Fiery Bird of Reincarnation, a 3-drop fire and wind resonator, obviously. It's a 1 wind, 1 fire, 1 void. It's an 800, 700 beast, and it's a birdie with flying, which is actually very nice. When this card leaves your field for a non-field zone, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a resonator. Put that card into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any random order. It would have been really nice if you could put that resonator into your field, but, I can understand why they're just like, no, it's going into your hand and whatnot, because that would be a bit too OP. You'd be, like, suiciding with this card, trying to get, like, a bigger resonator out. Hopefully that way, if you had, could do that or whatever. But I can understand. I mean, it's got flying, so it's not too bad. The stats are okay for a 3-drop. Better than Kaguyu's 3-drop anyway, in terms of stats and whatnot. So, I guess it's okay. It's a bird that flies, so we have to be happy with that. Next up, we have Fiery Soldier of Milest? I'm not quite sure how you're meant to pronounce that name. But it's a 2-drop, it's a fire and a void, 600, 600. Treat this card as a fire magic stone, and I've seen a lot of discussion, debate and whatnot, depending on like the rulings and interactions this card is going to have with Pricia, with other magic spells and whatnot, and I could go on for days and days and days about what this potentially card could mean, but I don't want to like clog up this discussion video too much, just talking about this one throwaway card that really shouldn't be causing too much bother in terms of rulings and whatnot, but I can see is going to be a little bit of a pain in the backside for those who maybe are not understanding the way the mechanics work and everything like that. So as far as I'm aware, treat this as a fire magic stone. I am assuming that means you can produce fire from it, like fire will from it. I mean, if you tap it or whatnot. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Maybe it doesn't work that way. I don't know. I'll need to read up again on the actual ruling update on this and whatever, because I know a post went up or whatever detailing about this specific card. So I'll need to read up on that, study it up, and make sure that I remember for next time. Next up, we have Burning Pot, a little 2-drop here of 1 wind and 1 fire. It's a 700/100, which is kind of odd, but when you get into, if you look at it here, it's basically a vanilla, it's swiftness and first strike. So this is like basically your pot shot attacker, essentially. I mean, it is a burning pot, essentially, so that's why. So I'm guessing the best use for this one would be if you can make sure that your opponent doesn't have any resonators, or they've blocked with everything that they're going to block with and whatnot, then you can just drop this guy and be like, cool, I'm going to swing for 700 now that you've not got anything to block me with, which is probably a good thing. It's got first strike anyway, so you probably wouldn't have to worry too much about that, but it's, you know, it's, as its description said, slipping past most any defense required for swift and careful attacks. So once your opponent's defense is down and whatnot, you can be like, cool, I'm just gonna like step right in here and deal 700 to you. No bother at all. And last but not least, we have a spell. I don't think we got a spell from Kaguya's one, if I believe. I don't know if her dual color spell is that one that got spoiled long ago that I can't remember the name of now. Don't know, but it didn't get revealed, so maybe that is her dual color spell. But for Pricia here, we have the Concord of Saints and Beasts, which is, it feels like it's the name of like a Game of Thrones book or something like that. But anyway, it is a quick cast chant. It's a 3-drop with 1 wind, 1 fire, 1 void. Choose one. If you control a fire and a wind resonator, you can choose both. Target J/resonator you control deals damage equal to its attack to a target resonator your opponent controls. Or whenever a resonator that was dealt damage this turn by J/resonator you control is put into a graveyard from your opponent's field, you may put the top card of your Magic Stone deck into your field. So basically, if you are triggering both of these, then you are managing to kill something, hopefully, potentially, if you can deal enough damage. And if you do kill something, you're getting a free Magic Stone, which is very, very nice. But I'm more interested in the actual flavor text at the bottom here, because I'm not going to voice act this because I'm terrible at voice acting, and they'll probably sound exactly the same. But what they're saying is they're having a little discussion here. They're like, Faria, Pricia, it's good to see you again. What happened to us? She's probably like, what the frick am I wearing? This is ridiculous. We can talk about that later. We've got work to do. Is that? Yes, it's Alice. So this is very interesting how they're talking about Alice. I'm not quite sure whether they're meaning we've got to find Alice, or maybe Alice is the problem that we're dealing with or something like that. I'm not too sure, because obviously Faria's got Excalibur here, and we like the last that I remember, Alice had Excalibur. So I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know if it was mentioned in the story or whatever, if maybe Alice lost Excalibur and it was found by Gloria/Faria or whatever when she escaped Atarantica or something like that. I mean, that's very interesting, so I'm curious to find out. But basically, it's revealed, well, at least it's revealed a wee bit in the description from the spoiler article today, that this is not the real Faria. We did get an inkling of that those who are dead do not come back the same. So she's not the real Faria, she's a shadow of Faria, basically, that was given life by Pricia's will and Excalibur. So she was never meant to exist. The only reason she's here is to give Pricia's will back to her, and I guess to briefly protect Charlotte while she could. Now that she's delivered Pricia's will back to her body, she can't exist anymore, so basically Faria is going to vanish, which I think is a fitting end to Faria, because I was pretty sad, whatever, because I know, like, Faria was, like, she didn't really get a lot of, well, I feel like she didn't get a lot of respect and whatever in the way she died, because obviously she got turned into the Shadow Faria and whatnot, and Dark Alice was using her against Alice and everything, and that was quite torturous to see. And we got like a brief glimpse of like what she was in her younger days and everything, and you know, Charlotte didn't even really get to say goodbye to Faria and all that when the world was ending and whatnot, and Charlotte lost both Lars and Faria at the same time, basically, you know, losing all her family and everything. So it is pretty sad to see that. So it is a fitting end, I think, to Faria to be able to deliver this final mission to bring her other comrade back to life and whatever, save her from the grips of Valentina and everything. So I think it's a fitting end to Faria. So I'm depending on how the lore is written or whatever, I think that's the way Jordan's going with it. At least it feels that way from this flavor text or whatever, but I think it would be a fitting end to Faria, and if, like, a fitting way to say goodbye to her and whatnot. So she's like finished her final mission. Pricia is back and she's ready to kick some butt. But I'm very curious to see what you guys think of all these spoilers below. Are you glad that Pricia is back? Where do you think Valentina has gone off to? Is she after some other body and whatnot? Maybe she's finally gotten Alice, and that's why Alice is looking all dark and mysterious and whatnot in the promo images. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. And also, check in the description to check out my video for my 400 subscriber giveaway. I'm going to be giving away a playmat and whatnot, so click on that video in order to read about it, to be able to understand the rules and whatnot for you winning a playmat. And also be sure to check out my Patreon down below if you feel like becoming a Patreon and supporting my channel and whatnot. I do lots of different tiers and whatnot, with shout outs, with free art and whatnot, so it'd be great if you guys could even just check it out or even share it and everything. And I will see all you guys next time.